From Tennessee love, from Tennessee love, from Tennessee love. When I first met you, I was so broke, and I tried to hide behind the Alabama pines, praying that you didn't know about my problems, cause I couldn't bear to see you go. And when you found out all that happened, your little heart was broke, and I had to.
What up, brother?
And I learned the fact that money don't fix that shit.
What's going on, man?
I'm sorry that I never
What up?
Anything that I did. Can I put this ring on your finger that you know that I'm serious?
Yo, 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 yo. Yo, yo, yo. I got some jams going, so. Janilla, what's up? I'm doing good. I'm doing good, everybody. Got 14,000 subscribers. I was like, holy crap, man, this thing's growing. That's good. It's really good. And I appreciate you guys loving and supporting. For real. But yeah, I wanted to jump on here and let anybody ask whatever, man. We'll just talk. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk. You guys ask whatever you want. Thank you, Jay Jones. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't care about copyright. I'm not monetizing this live. This is for my fans, man. I mean, look, monetization, keep it real with you. Right now, and it's funny because I'm very transparent about this, but I'm making $176 a month for monetization, guys. Just putting it out there. I have nothing to hide. It's not like I make a living doing this. So, and I've got an $1,850 rent payment for this house. I went way over my head when I moved out here to Washington. I wanted my wife to be really happy with the place we have. And I don't have a job right now, so I'm about to start another job. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping the car sales thing works. Someone reached out, was like, how would you like to help addicts? What kind of question is that? That's my life. I love helping addicts, man. That's what I freaking love to do. Shit, I wish I could save people's lives, but I'm not, I don't have that kind of power like that, but I do motivate. Clean 3 months yesterday, got my 90-day keychain. Does it get even better? Psh, does it get even better? It gets way better. And some days, man, don't get me wrong, you got your days, but they pass. They don't stay. I request to join in Wakey and make your clubs over there. Wakey. I don't know what that is. What year were you in Afghanistan? 2010, Janilla. Oh, dude, man, I don't want to give you guys 60-minute videos, but there's so much stuff that I cannot or don't go into because it's so long. I don't want to bore people to death, but yeah, I went over there in 2010 because, see, Kurt had a situation with his baby's mama, infidelity type stuff, like he was losing his mind when he was in Afghanistan, and that's my baby bro. So I was like, you know what? I was getting high, doing what I was doing. And I love Kurt. Y'all all know that. I tried to go over there to go be with him, and I was successful in getting the job and going to go be with Kurt. So I went to Afghanistan, and shit found me somehow in Afghanistan, in the deserts of Afghanistan, right? Let's go across the world to get away from what we've been doing and thinking, I just wanted to be there to help Kurt. No, it didn't work out as good, so I haven't been to Holland. Let me go up. Don't they give you a strike or just warning? No, good question. So I get an email, my benzo hell. I get an email whenever I use music on here. I get an email saying it is copyrighted, but it's not a strike. So if you notice, like I've done a couple little music videos and I played a few videos that have music in them. They don't monetize it. Well, they will monetize it, but the funds go to the actual person who owns the content. I don't care. Dude, I wish I made a living through you guys clicking my videos. All it is chump change, and it's all good. I get a warning. I'm fine with that. I mean, I'd rather give you guys good content than worry about not being able to play a song because I can't make money through it. I don't make enough money anyways to make a living through this anyway. So I'm not sweating that at all. You know what I'm saying? So if the song is fire, I'm going to play the song. The message I'm trying to present is just giving people hope. That's why I did that music video with NF where I was talking about I miss the days. I'll play that song right now. Why not? Let's do that. But it's more about you guys, and I do this because this is therapeutic.
James, you appreciate you spending the next couple of minutes with me.
These ads, man.
Earned over, I don't know.
Hold on. There we go. All right. We'll jam this thing. I'm going to read what you guys are saying here. So download Wakey. I need to check that out. Okay. I don't know what that is. I'll look into it. Let me write that down.
I miss the days when I had a smile on my face and wasn't so caught up in all of the small things. Wasn't so adamant that I could handle everything alone. It wasn't so cautious and always exhausted. And
I don't know who Donald Cerrone is. Now I got to look that up. Let me see if that's a derogatory term or
I was
not.
wondering if I'm a likable person and someone that nobody likes. Not always stressed about money or losing my job. Or scared I ain't making the flight. Not always going to bed every night with this knot in my stomach and never unwind. What happened to me?
I guess he's a UFC guy. Cool. I can take that. I think you will like it here in Holland. A lot of people need your help. Shoot, I would love to be everywhere at all times. Look, I got this guy reached out to me recently about, do I want to help addicts and stuff? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, we could see about maybe getting you a position helping us by going out and trying to help people get into rehabs and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'd love to do that, but I'm very careful about taking a position. I got to look into stuff because there's a lot of scams out there in recovery as well. So it's, I don't know. Yeah, Jay Jones, this is the new one. Man, I felt this song so deep. I had to make that video. If you guys haven't seen that video, check the video out with this song. I Miss the Days, and the whole purpose was Kurt was talking to me like he's not talking right now. He hides, right? So y'all know what it's all about. But I made this song for him, like that video. And it was like showing, you can have a life back, right? And show that you can gain everything back. You can gain a lot more than you had before you started using drugs. So I relapsed after being sober for 2 years. For about a month, I'm in now. I will start looking for help and not try and do it alone this time. Good idea, Michelle. Yeah, man, I couldn't do it alone. I could not do it alone. Everybody's like, you made it look so easy getting off heroin. Bro, it may have looked that way on the outside, but all those days I wasn't recording videos in my first month. I was going through it. I was fighting for my life. That's real. I was fighting for my life, and I was blessed. I made it.
I miss the sun and underneath the sun, staring out the window when the rain comes.
Hold up.
I miss the smiles we had when we were kids.
It's hard work, yes.
I feel like life was so much simpler.
Slipped up, day 2, so bored, hurting, trying not to make that call. Utaro, get into my Discord, bro. Like, I have a ton of people who are always wanting to talk, and that's a place you can go talk if you're bored. There's a room you can go scream in. Once in a while, I'll go in there and yell into the void. People don't respond to you. You just go and you release what you got going on inside. 4 years trying to quit cocaine and meth. And you can do it. You just gotta bottom line and run with that joker and get help. Samuel, man, it's a complex, complicated. Family is a very difficult, complicated thing, but ultimately, it's easier said coming from me, but I would give an ultimatum, big time. Give an ultimatum and try to give them the option, and then after that, they've got to understand that they're making a choice at that point to receive the help, or there is no helping them in that situation. Of course, they're not going to want to get help, but that's why interventions kind of make them feel like they have to make a decision. And look, I felt like I didn't have a choice. I had to get mom and dad off my back. I had to get my life back. I didn't want to stop doing drugs, but I didn't want to keep living in misery. You know what I'm saying?
Treat our house as your home. I'm sure you and Jericho.
I'm trying to catch up where you guys are at right now.
I can't wait to meet him.
That's true, Just Fun. Not everyone is so strong. That's why we got to have people. You got to have more than just you. And believe it or not, even if everyone wants to say, well, Derek, you're strong and you made it. I am not strong like you. This is why I say facilities, go into a detox or rehab or something. Get in contact with people in recovery. Because when you're weak, they might be strong.
I wanna live forever. I wanna be your friend. I wanna roll together. I wanna be your pet.
Well, my benzo recovery, my benzo hell recovery. Willpower is key. And that's tough, bro, because I guess you say it plays a part, but that's why when we don't want to do it, and we've already put ourselves around people who want what's best for us, when our willpower isn't strong, they're there to help say, hey, come on, and they push us back on the right path. Yes, it is. What's up, Jessica Kent? If you guys don't know about Jessica Kent, she's got a recovery channel as well, and she talks about prison and all that kind of stuff too, so you guys know, go check her out for sure. Let me see. Someone says still coming off opioids. I've heard that Xanax is even worse, so should I not fuck with that? The anxiety of dip and the methadone way down. Man, go talk to a doctor, bro. Like, I know you guys say don't do that. Well, you got to pick your doctor. Not every doctor is the best doctor either. But, man, I don't believe in self-medicating like that because I can't. I don't know how. So, you know, I just, like, for example, there's a guy who just started a YouTube channel. He was talking about how he was having, like, he took Seroquel or something. Dude, he was talking about how his mom had to take him to the hospital. He was losing his shit. And this is all from being prescribed. But if he'd have been at home doing this without a doctor, I don't know, man. I don't know what could happen. You know what I'm saying? So be careful what you do, what you put in your body. And it was so he could sleep. I think the doctor prescribed it to him so he could sleep during his withdrawals. Guys, I didn't take shit. And I'm going to be 100 with you. It was the fucking most difficult shit I have ever experienced in my entire life. I did not sleep worth the shit for like 14 to 20 days. I had sleep, but it sucked. And I embraced the suck. At some point, I just fucking went with it. And I just said, all right, another cup of coffee, another meeting, another this. I listened to music all day. I had to occupy my mind with anything that was not the drug. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's what I did. Look, my benzo hell recovery says, don't fuck with the benzos. You can die from cold turkey. Watch his channel. You'll find out. He has had a long time away from it, and he still says it affects him. I also didn't take shit. It was painful but necessary. The pain doesn't last, and my life was worth that temporary pain. Jessica can't hit the nail on the head because that's exactly what I just went through it. And it sucked, but I heard it said by Tool Hog 10. He said something interesting because he says a lot of interesting things that I guess catch my attention. He said when you already go 2 or 3 days into detox, you already feel like you're so far in, you might as well surrender to that process. Like, why backtrack and have to restart and go through everything all over again?
Cancer screening for people.
It's not self-medicating at all.
I've heard a lot of excuses to avoid screening for colon
opinions.
cancer.
Tend
I'm
to
not worried.
appreciate options for people who have been through
We can
it.
do it next year.
Yeah, I definitely would say, like I said, go talk to a doctor and tell them exactly how you feel.
92% of colon cancers. You just get the kit.
Jessica,
go to the
we gotta,
bathroom,
hey,
90%.
I'll come on anytime you want.
There's no excuse for waiting.
I got music going, Jess.
Doctor, if Cologuard is right for you.
I got, hold on, hold on, here's another one. So if you guys always ask me, like, what kind of music, right? Give me some motivational. recently, Raleigh Ritchie, I guess he's got a few songs that are, I don't know, you feel them type songs.
Nothing is perfect, but you're
I don't care, Jess. They're going to send me an email and just say, hey, they're just going to say, look, it's a warning. I've never had a strike for this. I'm not sweating it. I'm not worried about this being monetized. I'm not monetizing this live feed. What's up, Kaylee? Good to see you. Hey, Big D, what up? What's good, Doug? I'm not sweating it, Jess. Look, I'm cool, man. Like, I don't make a living on this anyway, so I just love you guys, man. I'm on here for you guys. I'm not here to make this is just a live, so I'm not sweating this being monetized at all. I didn't take anything, no real sleep for weeks. That's a fact. I didn't sleep either. And some people can't live with that insomnia. Some people can't. They'll lose their shit and they'll just be like, I'm going insane, right? I felt that way too. I did. Kaylee, love you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, sweetheart. It's not the money. They can just give you 3 strikes in a day. Okay. Well, Jessica, I've had many other songs already copyrighted on my channel, and they've never said anything more than just a warning saying, if you monetize it, the funds are going to go to the owner of this music. And I said, okay, I don't care. So I've never had that problem, but we will check it out. Kurt, oh man, I haven't heard from him, but recently, the other day, I always reach out to him. I always do. Oh, man. I don't really like going into it too much, but nothing new under the sun, you know? Kurt is struggling. You know, Kurt's struggling. You guys don't like the music in the background, John? You guys want me to turn that off? I keep getting music comments. Screw it. I'll turn it off. All right. So here's what's going on with Kurt. Kurt and his wife, right? They both have issues with the same addiction. It's not like these guys are, you know, 2 separate types of drugs. They like the same stuff. She likes coke, Kurt likes heroin, but they both like each of those drugs. They just, one likes one over the other. So Kurt starts doing good, and I was talking to her and talking to him, and it always seems like we got to separate those two in order for them to go into a recovery process, because they can't do it while they're together. And the last time I was telling him, dude, move away, you know, come out here. You can live with me and we'll get you a start over. You know, you can come out here, bro. We'll start over. We'll try and make something happen. Long story short, Kurt goes back to his house and leaves communication between us and him completely. So I hear from him the other day, and he said he's moving to Raleigh because he's got a job opportunity, but it don't sound right. You know, it just don't sound right. So at that point, you got to realize serenity, man. Like for me, it's things that are out of my control. It's getting hot in here. It's things that are out of my control, and I got to focus on my wife and kids here and just try to do my best. You know what I'm saying? But Kurt, I hope something happens. And I've said this, and I don't mean this in a bad way, everybody. I hope you guys get where I'm coming from when I say this. I hope he gets it without this, but I feel like some days I just hope I get that call, Kurt's in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like he got locked up. So he's forced, separated off the street. He's not shooting up coke and heroin and speedballing all day, every day, staying up 5, 6, 7 days at a time. He gets really skinny. He doesn't eat, and he's self-destructive in that way. And there's no telling what's going on, if you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I'm 2 years off heroin. Some days I feel like I'm capitulated to using mindset, like I really want to get it. 2 people have extremely hard time getting sober together. I know from experience it's rare, but it does happen. That's true, Kaylee. That's true. Long-time listener, I just wanted to ask what your daily routine and recovery is like. Brochacho. Like prayer, meditation, exercise, diet, bud, at work. So blessings, my brother. Ryan Moe, just to give you a short, what I do, man, is I have hobbies that aren't just centered on talking about recovery. I like to research philosophy and a lot of other things. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to that stuff. I also have very close friends that I constantly am in contact with through the phone. So throughout the day, I'll be in constant contact where I discuss things that aren't just recovery. It's not like 24/7 Derek talks about recovery. I just plug this channel. I have another channel that I do on YouTube. However, it's very controversial, and I don't plug it here. So I have hobbies and I have other things that I do, and it has nothing to do with drugs. So I found out drugs were just a symptom of my problem, and I realized, well, you get the drugs out of the way, you can start working on the real problem. Next thing you know, you don't need drugs. And I keep that as a habit. Right now, I'm in between jobs, so I have a lot of time on my hands. So what do I do when I have no job? I'm at the house and I get bored. I just do more research or plug more on my YouTube channel, and it helps time go by until I start my next job. If that makes any sense, I hope that makes sense. Anyway. I stay prayed up for you and your fam. Thank you, Kaylee. I really appreciate that, sweetheart. Are you clean 100% off all drugs, or do you still occasionally roll a finger here and there? Like, I'm 100% clean. Haven't used since, and I found the new date. It wasn't the 28th of October, but the 25th of October was the time I left her house, because I found the newspaper article that had a girl shooting up on it, and that was the day I left. I went to go buy a pack of Marble Menthol Blacks. And there it was, and I saw it as a sign. I talked about signs in that last video where I was looking for signs. When I went to buy my smokes and I saw that on the front page the day I left her house, that there was heroin epidemic in Fayetteville, North Carolina, I said, I got this shit. And dude, I was in for a storm. I did not realize that the detox was not gone. I was 4 days off heroin, and nights were the worst. I'm laying next to the wife, and I got to get a leg out of the blanket because I'm too hot, and then I'm too cold, and then I'm too hot, and then I'm too cold, and I'm anxious, and I got to go crawl in the damn bathtub. I got to go get in the bathtub 20 times a night, take a shower. I'm just rolling my eyes, just tossing and turning, trying to be occupied. No TV show was satisfying. During the days, I was better. I was able to drink a cup of coffee and get into a meeting and do something with my life. I was better through the days for some reason. At nights, oh, bro, screw the nights. That was the worst, but I made it through it. And I kept getting these signs. I was looking for signs, and I followed those. So I looked at the newspaper, realized that I had the heroin epidemic, and I said, okay, that's talking about me. I personified everything that I was looking for. Then I start working. I finally get a job after I had a Christmas. This Christmas, I couldn't afford my kids anything. Literally, we went to an AA Christmas party, and other people bought my children a present. I didn't even have money to buy my kids presents. So I was so depressed. I was in there. I felt like, you know what? Like, I'm clean, but what's it worth to me? And in my head, I was like, yeah, so what? I'm clean, but I'm depressed. I have nothing going for me. So, you know, what's the deal? And this old man told me, son, I'm glad you're here. And he told me, it's going to work itself out. Keep going and looking. Don't give up. And he kept giving me these positive, encouraging things. So I kept going, and I found this job. I asked for a job at this car wash in Fayetteville, North Carolina. If you've ever been there or you know it, I was working near downtown Fayetteville at the car wash. It was the Hood. And the guys working there were straight ripping my tips off because they knew all the people who got their car washes. They knew them. They had connections. And I'm up there working, and there's nothing but drugs, like, all around me. And I'm thinking to myself, how did I end up here? It was called First Place Car Wash, and it says Jesus Saves on the side of the car wash. And I remember while I was working there, washing these cars, going, like, talking to myself, or my God, as you would call it. And I said, what the hell did you bring me here for? This is like the most drug-centered place in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I'm a drug addict. Why are you taking me here? So I was just kind of like, what is this going on? I'm not making shit for money. Like $500-600 after 2 weeks. I was shocked. So we ended up having to go clean these cars at this place called HBC. And when I went there, I asked the guy, I was like, dude, are you guys hiring? Because you guys are taking care of us, giving us food every day while we're washing your trucks. And he said, yeah. But I said, will you hire felons though? Because I've got a background. And he's like, I am a felon. I said, shut up. He says, yeah, man. Sheriff came to my house one day when there was a domestic dispute between me and my wife. I kicked the door open in front of the sheriff, and the door popped the sheriff in the nose while he had his shotgun out. I'm like, dude, okay, this is my place, right? I tried to get the job, and I finally took off on the next Monday from that car wash job. When I went to go get my, I went to go get the job, I called the guy who was there. He got fired for failing a piss test. They did a company-wide urinalysis, and 33 people got knocked for it. They locked the doors to the building, everything, and they were checking people. Lift your shirt up. Let me see what you got. Okay, let me check your pockets. And people got caught with condoms. People got caught, trying to pass this urinalysis. And the people who failed their piss test didn't get the bonus that year. So I end up on my way out here, a drug addict, like serious shooting up type drug addict. I'm on my way out here as a clean drug addict who's going to get a job, and all these people failed their drug test while I'm getting my job. And they hired me on the spot. When they gave me that job, the next day I was able to start. I told them I'll start tomorrow. I drove back to the house to get smokes. Again, the same gas station. On the front page of the newspaper, it said solar panels sweeping North Carolina. This company, HBC, is a solar company. So I said, there's another sign. I was looking for signs, and I found them. And sure enough, I knew I was on the right path. So I worked at HBC for 3.5 years. And then a lot of stuff happened in my life over the past 6 months when I was in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I said, you know what? Let's go to Washington State and start a new life. So we went to Washington State and we started over, and here we are. And it's not easy some days. Right now, I'm not making any money at this moment, so it's a struggle. But I feel like I'm on that path. I'm on the right path. Does that make sense? So I hope you guys catch that. Let me scroll up, man. I'm missing mad stuff. Kaylee said, embrace the suck. That's a fact. You just gotta, I have a nephew who's a football player out here, and he was on national TV, and they were like, so what's your coach? What's the philosophy of your coach, and some of the things that you do to win these games? And he hands him the mic, and he goes, nut up or shut up. And I laughed so hard that was on TV. Nut up or shut up. You got to just give it everything you got. Go warrior mode on it and just and do it, and then get other people involved so that you can stay clean. It don't matter. You don't have to necessarily go to a 12-step. You can find other programs, but get locked in, man. I'm telling you, get mad at yourself, she said. And when it's hurting, be like, is that all you got? It's so mental, it's ridiculous. I know it feels like it's 100% physical. Yes, nights suck. Showers were the key. That's a fact. Kaylee, word with what you said. That's the fact, Ryan. Appreciate all your content, bro. 13 months sober from heroin. I relate to you big time. Inspiration. Good work. Appreciate it, Jordan. Does Johnny Depp do drugs now? I think he does. He looked like, I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but I don't know. My opinion. Dude, methadone half-life's like a month. So ridiculous. Oxy's like a day. So day 2 is worse than 1. Hey, from Germany. Green Thumb, what's good? Good to see you. Good to see you. My pulse still ain't gone. Nearly a year off methadone, heroin, and his pulse is still there. My benzo hell. Dude, that's crazy, bro. I don't know what. I mean, you're strong, man. Keep fighting this shit. Don't give up. Fight the fuck out of it, man. Everything you have, fight it. Hold on. What kind of... Okay. Most users treated themselves because... Let me go down here. Much love anyway, or always. This makes my day for sure. Never slipping. I like the name. Never slipping 901. Never slipping. I documented on this account. Hold up. Keep getting these damn text messages, guys. I don't want to make sure. Hold up. Okay. A CG kid just texted me. Okay, back to you guys. How do you do with a physical demanding job? Travis, that's a good question, bro. A physically demanding job, how do you withdraw? Man, if I had a job, I'm gonna tell you like this. I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you what I would do. Okay. Kaylee, yes, you should do videos. 100%. Trust me, they will help you 100%. I have a video from day 5, I think, but haven't posted. I look like hell too. You better stop. You better stop. I got to answer Travis, but don't you say that again. I never want to hear you say you look like hell again, ever, ever. All right, so good question, Travis. Let me talk about this for a second real quick, guys and gals. I can only tell you me. I'm not telling you you. If you relate to me, so be it. All right. If I had a job, my job has me have insurance. I have insurance. I'm not, okay, when I'm in active addiction, like I said, I didn't want to quit. But if I was pressured enough and I felt like I wanted to make a change, get my life better, and I wanted to medically come down off the drug instead of just cold turkey on a couch like I did, insane, and I had insurance, I'll tell you what I did for Kurt. Kurt worked for me. I was a supervisor at HBC, the solar company. Kurt became an employee of mine. Kurt ended up with insurance. I pressured Kurt into going to rehab, and he went for 30 days and got clean, by the way, everybody. In case y'all don't remember that back in the day in my channel. I was so stoked and happy he did it. But I called this rehab and pretended that I was Kurt. I lied. But I did it on purpose, and I used my insurance, and I said, listen, I want to come to rehab. My name's Derek Lambert. Here's my insurance. I said I was Derek Lambert. I pretended like I was on drugs, but I wanted to test it to see if it was successful. They said, Mr. Lambert, no deductible, come to rehab. We got you covered. We medically detox you to take you off of what you're on, and we will help you. Come to find out, my job also has FMLA, Family Medical Leave of Absence. And a lot of companies will help you keep your job if you are transparent and honest about these situations. Now, if you take out Family Medical Leave of Absence because of something like this, they cannot fire you. By law, they cannot fire you. I don't know every state, but I'm talking North Carolina. And now I'm in Washington State, and the same law applies here because I look into this stuff. I always look and say, if I ever relapse and I have insurance, what would I rather do? Sit on my couch dying or go into a facility where they can help taper me in a protective way in an environment where I know I'm not going to go as insane as I did cold turkey? So I would say I would pursue the proper channels and try to use my FMLA, my insurance, and get into a facility that'll help me so I didn't have to die on a couch at someone's house, losing my mind, just sitting there. Oh my freaking, and nothing makes you happy. You're just miserable. So what do you do for a living? Green Thumb, right now I do this. But no, I'm supposed to start selling cars. Anyway, guys, that's what I would do. If I had a job, man, and I knew I needed to get clean, I would do that. And it would be a lot more, I know there's fear involved, but I would be a lot more comfortable knowing that a doctor in a facility is going to help me to come off than me just getting ready to embrace the hurricane at a house by myself. I'd much rather them give me a Colodidine patch for the irritable, restless, discontent, the restless leg syndrome. I'd rather have them try to help me than me do it all by myself with an 800 milligram ibuprofen every time I turn around to try and feel better. It didn't do much. So, Yeah, Kaylee, don't say it again. Don't say it again, sweetheart. I can't work while detoxing. Impossible. Yeah, I feel you on that. I didn't have a job. So when I actually got off heroin at this time, I'm telling y'all, I got kicked out of my house. I did not have a house to live in. I slept on couches. And I wish I had OBS right now. I could pull up pictures and show you guys at the same time. I'm not technologically on the level of some of these YouTubers. I will get there. But I would show you guys the people that I've associated with, just to show you, like, one of the girls' couches that I was having to sleep on, she's clean. She looks great. She's healthy. She's got her life back. She lives in Wilmington, North Carolina. And I can't remember how much time she has, but she turned a leaf over in her life, and now she's doing great. I accidentally recorded myself smoking heroin. That's how deep I was. What was your worst moment, bro? The worst moment, good question, Jordan. My worst moment was the very last moment. I was so desperate. I mean, there were pretty bad moments. I saw my own reflection in the spoon, and I looked over at Kurt, and I started crying, and Kurt's like, bro, how did we get here? We didn't know how the hell we got there, man. We were high speed, hardcore. You know, my dad being Green Beret, we have that alpha male status. We were very go-getters. And how does someone who's athletic, who has everything going for them in their life, end up on heroin, shooting up in the backseat of a car, asking for a front that you don't even have 20 bucks for, and you just took a Suboxone earlier, so you know what you're about to do isn't even really going to get you high like you want. You're just so desperate in every way. That was pretty low. But the last thing I did, I had a book bag that I went to that lady's house with that had old syringes full of, you know, dirty needles. Okay. And I was so desperate in the room at her house. I took all these syringes and I started squeezing everything into one spoon. And there was this big pile of black chunk, if you will. I added water. I cooked it down. I did a couple Q-tip filters because I was so worried about how nasty it was. And I was so desperate as I started to detox that I thought maybe out of all the syringes that I had in my backpack, if I combine all the stuff in there together into this spoon, just maybe it'll give me the slightest bit of something to alleviate what I'm feeling already from the detox. And so I did it. And when I shot it up, I waited for a second. And when I felt nothing after about, I'd say 30 seconds to a minute, I knew I had just done the dumbest thing I could ever imagine. Was all this coagulated blood, old, dirty stuff, I just put into me, hoping to feel something. So people go to desperate measures to do this shit that they would never have done, ever. In my worst dream, I would never have done something like this. And that became the last time I tried to get high. The last time I got high, I said on the last video with Kurt, where we had 140 bucks and he did all of his shot at once. And it was such a rush to him. We're driving down the highway on Ramsey Street. He had to open his door and projectile vomit. And while we're driving down the road, he's puking and I'm laughing because you're out of your mind. I'm so crazy, man. I'm just so glad I'm not like that anymore. With the 2 dreams, was out of my mind. It was perfectly right. Green thumb. Thank you so much. Green. It truly is insane seeing the thumbnails of you while you were detoxing compared to right now. And it's like day and night. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Yeah, man, because you need to function. This is why I stayed home. But I guess it's not possible for everybody. And that's probably, I would say that's a fact. Let me see. I'm glad I kicked the needle 8 years ago. Feel good. Good for you, bro. That's a cotton fever invitation right there. Janilla, every time I did get cotton fever, it was a nightmare. And I noticed that I usually got cotton fever when I was actually pulling from a cigarette butt rather than the actual Q-tip. I've had Q-tip cotton fever, but I would use menthol cigarettes, and I would take the Newport 100s or the Marlboro Menthol Blacks, and I would use the menthol filter, and that's what I would use to absorb the heroin with, and I would get cotton fever sometimes, and it was a freaking nightmare because there's nothing you could do till it went away. Damn, bro, sounds exactly like the way I was living. Or recall the moments just contemplating how I ended up in that far gone, but great to be back. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Jordan. My worst fear is dying looking back at my body with a needle stuck in my arm. Ooh, that is bad, man. I don't know what, let's see. Yeah, it's very hard. I feel like my body is being pinned to the earth. I wish I could stay for the whole live stream, Derek, is the only thing that helps me. Travis, Facebook, bro. Hit me up on the Facebook, man. I got you. Instagram, I check. I'm horrible, man. I'm horrible. I'm old school. You know, they say old people use Facebook. Get on Facebook, add me. If not, private message me, and I will reach back. I sometimes may not instantly, but I will reach back, and then we'll get to talking, bro. And maybe at some point we can phone call. I don't hand my number out to anybody. I'm very careful about my number, but you reach me on Facebook, I'm willing to FaceTime people. Like, I really do this, you know, like, and when I start my job, I really want you guys to know that I'm not purposely trying to cut off doing videos. I'm trying to plug it. When I have this energy and this time and I can put it in, I put it in. This is why I want to find a job that lets me do recovery and help addicts, so I can use this as a momentum to helping in the job that I have. I always find a job like construction. I'm really good with my hands. I'm also good with sales. I've done store management before at T-Mobile, sales, you name it. But all that stuff takes me away from being able to do this. If I found a way to utilize my face or my YouTube as a message towards the hope of helping addicts in whatever my job is in helping addicts, I'm trying to figure that out. And maybe you guys can help me. Get me in contact with people. I know CG Kid did an interview with Mark Cuban from Shark Tank. You know the show Shark Tank. His brother Brian Cuban, and he's actually in contact with me. He's about to email me. Maybe he knows someone or something that I can do. This will allow me to put full focus into you guys and creating content, as well as do my job and make a living for my family. So I love you guys. You know, I'm trying to do this all I can. Let's see, Sammy, how do I help a person get off that stuff? I have never done any of this, so I don't understand. Sammy, yeah, I've got a lot of videos for sure, and you can probably get a lot of hints from that, but you can also reach out to me and I'll try and understand your situation and then maybe give you any of what I would do. I never tell people what they need to do because everything's complex, and I'm kind of OCD about that, but there's a lot of complex situations out there, and I'm not the Mr. I have all the answers. I'm the Mr. I know what I have to do, and I can make it if I do what I know I need to do. Thank you, Kaylee. Appreciate the plug there. Sammy, they need to want to get off. Yeah. Yes and no, Green Thumb. That was my last video. I didn't want to quit drugs, but I am, like, clean. And I talk about that. I wanted to, but I didn't want to. I just wanted my life to be better, but I didn't want to give up my heart. My love was heroin. I was in love with heroin. Guys, I didn't have sex for 3 or 4 months with my wife before I quit heroin. Sex was this. Nodding rolling my eyes in the back of my head was sex. There is not another thing in terms of, in my opinion, when it comes to not using drugs. If I try to give you a comparison to heroin, sex is the closest thing I can think. The ecstasy or the ecstatic feeling of sex, the pleasure that you get from sex. And I couldn't even, if I wanted to, the heroin was consumed me. So that is the best thing I can do, is try to come close to explaining that sex is really something that I didn't even do for a very long time. And when I got back off the shit and my testosterone and everything started coming back, I was losing my mind even. I wasn't used to the hormones. So that was a very, very hard situation. When you suppress everything, you're not even having sex anymore. It used to be I could take Percocets, and I'm just being real with you guys. I could take Percocets back in the day, go and have sex, and just have a hard time climaxing. I would go, and you're numb, so it takes you a lot longer, or you can't even get to that point because you're high enough that you can't feel it. Well, heroin, you can go ahead and bank on me not even being able to get into it. I just never wanted to do it. It just took it all away from me. Watching from Belfast. Hold up. What did it do? Oh, there you go. Belfast, Ireland. Awesome. Cotton balls. Let's see. Facebook sucks. I only use Messenger. Hit me up on Messenger, bro. I'm here on Messenger. I'm not kidding you, man. Ask everyone else in here who's ever reached out. I am on Messenger. That's so awesome, you doing this. We need more of this, people. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I want to motivate you guys to start your own. And people have been doing that too. So I'm really, really happy to see that. And Kaylee, you got to start a channel, sweetie. You really should. I'm serious. The guy from CG Kid's video. What would you do if you hit 200K subs like CG Kid? Good question, man. CG Kid and me talk. We probably talk every day. He calls me. We probably have an hour or two conversations every day. And some days we may not get a hold of each other, but he was like, dude, I would worry about you if you ended up with that many subs. And I was like, why? And he's like, trust me. He was explaining how difficult it is dealing with that kind of popularity, that kind of expectation. There's a lot involved. And I was like, bro, you know, if I had that many views growing like that, I would damn sure try my best, of course, to help other addicts. That's my number one priority. But I'm glad that it is what it is. It's a strong, smaller channel because my craft is recovery. One of the things that's made CG Kid's channel get to that point is the general public concept that he pushes. He's and could I do content videos that are pertaining to an ambiguous, hey, this is just for general public knowledge and learning about drugs? Yeah, I'm sure I could, and do interviews, and I probably will do interviews. Someone's trying to call me. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that, y'all. But I definitely focus my craft on recovery, which is what makes this channel tight and I guess you'd say very focused on a community of people. So I would like to see it evolve up to 200K, but I wouldn't want it to happen overnight. I would want people to see that this is a actual recovery focused mission and go from there. I don't know if that makes sense. So libido is crap and peeing is hard. How do you help people who want to get clean but just can't let go of the comfort of drugs and dealing with the pain of sobriety? Bob, I would get them into get them involved with some medical help in that case. Because a lot of people I know, they tap out for the pain or the suffering. They can't go through the withdrawals on their own. That's why there are medical facilities that will help bring you down. They will try to alleviate the pain. Hey, Derek, what are your opinions on people who go to other countries and take psychedelics like ibogaine and quit heroin? Noble? I think it's noble. Honestly, I have no opinion on that one way or the other. All I can say is I've heard ibogaine's worked. I've heard ibogaine hasn't worked. I've heard Suboxone's worked. I've heard Suboxone hasn't worked. I've heard people died from ibogaine because it's a powerful psychedelic and some people are allergic. I've heard people use ayahuasca, Kentucky ayahuasca. I did a video on that where I said psychedelic recovery, right? I've heard of a million different things that work and don't work, and it's all subjective. So if it works for somebody, my hat is off to them. Literally, I hope it works, honestly. I don't go out of my way to try and plug or push, hey, send your daughter to Mexico and make sure that they get on ibogaine. I don't do that because that's not me. What would I do? So I don't really do that, if that makes sense. But I'm not against it at all, guys. I'm not against that. Where's Kurt? How is he? I kind of talked about that, Krabby, but he's struggling and he's somewhere in Raleigh. Thinking about him often and how he's doing. Yeah, I feel like the young boy who just hit puberty is sensitive as fuck as far as sex goes, but that's something to look forward to getting clean, and sex takes away those withdrawal symptoms for a minute. Yes, it does. That is true. That is a fact. I remember. I'm not going to go too far into my personal. I think I've mentioned a few things on this channel over time. I'm very careful about that because there are people that aren't of age and kids who are subscribed to my channel. So this is a good reason not to ever do these drugs. So if you're watching and you're not of age, please understand that. So, all right. I like the focus, bro. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it, bro. I do videos the same, whether I have 1 subscriber or 1 million. That's a fact. Got to keep it real. Got to be who you are. If you have to fake or you, for some reason, get outside of who you really are, it's not natural. That's why I'm always just going to be natural. Hopefully my channel takes off naturally and the world likes what I'm presenting. Hey, cool. And I know I'm going to evolve and change things along the way, but I don't want to change who I am, if that makes sense. I want to be who I am and keep it real. I got wireless headphones, can't watch, but I can listen. Travis, cool, man. Well, I love you, bro, just so you know, man. And hit me up on Facebook later when you get a chance. So you got this, man. You got this. Do you play Pug? I don't, Ash K, but I did. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry. But I have played, what's that damn game on PlayStation? I don't play enough video games, guys, but I used to, like this game right here, Fallout. I love that game. So I don't know. Let's see. So a collab would be amazing. Oh my God, good one, feel good. Brandon Novak's story finally made something click in my head. I owe my sobriety to him and Derek. Kaylee, Brandon's awesome. Me and him are always in contact. We are always in conversation. Great guy. I want to have him on my channel, and I definitely would like to collab with him at some point too. Let's see. You always keep it real, my dude. Thanks, Jay. Really motivating doing a channel in Germany too. There's no channel that really handles addiction, and at least not so motivating. Yeah, I try to bring motivation. I want to kind of, it's very focused. My message is the same. Stuart Barter, let me reveal what you just wrote here. So it hit it. YouTube actually hit it. I don't know why, because you didn't cuss. All of your videos say the same shit 90%. Oh, probably because you said shit. That is a fact, Stuart. My message is the same. That's a good point. Well, you asked why. That's why. Because there's people dying right now. And could I be collecting a lot of money by talking about, psychedelics? Like, guys, I tripped balls on acid, and this is what it was like. And let me tell you guys about acid, and go into all that stuff and kind of glorify things at different angles. Yeah, I might talk about psychedelics at some point on here too. But it's a recovery channel. That's kind of why I do what I do. And I get more satisfaction when I get a message from someone who writes me, "You saved my life. What you said really changed the way my life and my mind was. And you really saved my life." And for me, that is everything. That is everything. That is like, I feel like at some point, what if my child was suffering? And this message someone else gave saved their life, And so that's why I do what I do. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I really do care. And, it strikes home for me because it keeps my fucking ass clean. It keeps me from going back out there because I'm going to fucking die. If I go back out there, I'm telling you, dude, I don't know if I'll ever make it back. And that's a fact. That's a fact. And I know it because, it hits home. My little brother, I wish I could save his life. I wish I could, but I can't. And I know he's suffering, and I know he wants a better life, but he can't let go. And I know what it's like. I know what you're feeling. So, good question. All right. Yes, it's a recovery channel for heroin addicts after all. Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate that. So sorry, Kaylee. Yeah, no, I don't think Stuart meant shit in a bad way, Green Thumb, but it's all good. I appreciate it, Stuart. Thanks. You have any tips on prevent relapsing? Yeah, acting. So to prevent relapsing, first three things that I personally noticed is people, places, and things. And you got to separate yourself first because you don't know how to live. You don't know how to do it. You just don't know. It's okay, though. It's like a child. The child walks up to the bonfire pit. He's probably so infatuated with the fire. If he doesn't know better, he might grab a coal or grab a stick that's on fire and burn himself. Someone else who knows better that you're around will probably go, "Hey, don't touch that. You're going to burn yourself." And so that child now knows, don't do it. And that child may have been burnt before, but then doesn't realize this might burn them. And they've been burnt by that, but this might burn them. That's why you have people who know what it is like me and others that are in the recovery community that are out there to help steer you and protect you from getting burnt, if that makes sense. But you have to surrender. You have to be willing to go and do something different. There's no way I could have done it alone. I never would be here today alone. If someone preaches they did this shit all by themselves message, I don't think they're being truly honest, because if they did it all by themselves and they went to jail, let's say, I did it all by myself, I went to jail, I was good, I spent 2 years in prison, whatever, and they got out, and for some reason they stayed clean, I think something changed in their life. Their actions changed that caused them to stay clean. We can't think our way into being clean. We can act our way into being clean, if that makes any sense. So I know it's complex. I'd love to do more science on this and explain to you guys about how the behavior changes. But when I did things differently over time, it became habit. Like, I'll be honest, when I was working full time, just recently, I wasn't always cleaning my house. Now, like I get up, I pick up, and it's routine. And at first it was a struggle. Now it's just like, all right, I got to go do this. I got to go do that. Got to do this. Got to do that. And I'm like Mr. Mom right now, man. I get to drop my kids off from school and look at them smile. And it's so cool. So people, places, and things, everybody, separate yourself. Get you new ones. Trust me. There's plenty of people and plenty of places and plenty of things that can make you happy in this life. And you don't have to keep the same ones. Yeah, I feel good. Thanks, man. Yeah, I got a little teary-eyed there, guys. You know the best and only thing you can do for Kurt. That's doing exactly what you've been doing. Thanks, Jay. YouTube has been demonetizing and is a worse scenario, taking channels down over certain profanity subject matters. Got to walk a fine line nowadays. Ashley, that's a fact. I've been noticing a lot of that. I get grilled sometimes for monetizing mine, but that's not really why I'm there. But it helps put some gas in the car each month and get me a little food in the belly. See, this is a real good person. He really cares. That's why I say there's a special place in heaven for you there. Thank you, Kaylee. I appreciate it. I really do. Green Thub, is there a lot of addiction in Germany? I'm in Los Angeles and it's everywhere. Dude, I think it's everywhere, man. I get people everywhere in the world write me. I got people in Africa, definitely got people in Mexico, and they write me in Spanish. So I go to Google and I go to Translator and I put it in Google and it translated into English, and then I'll read what they say, and then I'll put it in English and translate it back to Spanish and send it to them. It's pretty cool, man. I'm glad we have the internet. We don't have these open drug spots with addicts, but yes, in general, more and more people getting addicted to pills, benzos, opioids, and stuff. After my brother passed away from an overdose was the first time I tried saying, if it kills him, it won't kill me. Testing the fire. I was sober for 2 weeks, then relapsed. When does it truly get better? Well, I've heard of people. I'm going to tell you this. I remember when I was in recovery, like early recovery, and I saw this guy. He had like 3 months. He was unhappy. He was in there bitching in the meetings. He picked up his 90-day chip, and he's just like, yeah. And then he relapsed. And when he came back, this guy, I don't know what happened, but for some reason, just early recovery, he was happy. I think it happens in here. It's not just that I'm separated from the drugs, but there's a mental thing, a conscious thing that takes place in the mind. You can be miserable and separate yourself from the drugs, but unless something changes in your head, I just don't know. There's got to be a change that happens, a psychological change that makes you happy. People told me they were in jail for a year, and they told me the whole time they wanted to use, and they were miserable. And as soon as they got out, what'd they do? They used. Something in the brain changes. So that's what I think. All right, let's see, Derek. I tried messaging you on Facebook when you were moving to the West Coast. Bad timing. You were too busy. I'll try to message you again on there. Much love. Yeah, hit me up, Douglas. Pretty bad with the coke. There's babies in Afghanistan addicted to heroin. You should watch those videos. It's insane. We have it so much better in America, believe it or not. I do believe it. I heard heroin's cheaper than food in places over there. I never did heroin when I was in Afghanistan. I know y'all saw I just dropped that Afghanistan video, and there's so much I didn't talk about in that video. But long story short, that video, Afghanistan, I can't imagine the heroin. There was drugs floating around, but it was very hard to get it, and it cost a lot of money, especially if you're on there. Noah, how did you meet CG Kid? That's a good question. I made a video a long time ago on my channel where I plugged other recovery channels, and I plugged him because he had a lot of information and knowledge on addiction. He saw it. Somehow he saw that I plugged his name. And when he reached out and was like, yo, good video. Thanks, bro. I wrote him. Can't remember how I wrote him, but we actually got in contact like that. And, he actually kind of like we bounced off each other just in this recovery game. And we were talking about ideas. He's helped me with my channel on what I should do and how I should do stuff. But he knows my mission is recovery. So appreciate that, my benzo hell. I appreciate that, bro. I love you guys. I love all you guys, and I really appreciate you guys subbing and agreeing with the message that I'm putting out here. And if you guys want to talk, like I said, hit me up on Facebook Messenger. I've got to get off of here and be productive today in some way. But I thank you for making it 14,000. And, you know, that's a lot of subscribers of a lot of people, you know. So love you guys and I appreciate all that you're doing. Feel free to reach out to me and share this message, you know, share this video, like it, and then make your own channel. Let me know when you do and I'll come and show you some love. And with that being said, y'all have a good day. Thank you. Appreciate it, everybody. And love you guys. Have a good one. Peace.